Great pass. What a catch!
My goodness.
What an amazing catch from Vicky McFarlane.
Highlight reel. Never say yes to the jest. That was fantastic. Sarah Tarkin making a push for home. This is 400 herself. 13 strikeouts for Gabby Snyder and one of the best pitching performances we've seen this season. This one and a fantastic grab by Emma Burridge. Climbs the ladder and brings it down. Atkins grounds this up the middle. That's going to score a run. Bruin score two. Deep to left field. This is back, and this one is gone. It's magic from Madeline.
Well, check out the weather in Adelaide and welcome to the broadcast for another round of Softball SA, the city competition, live here on Spacequake Sports, on the softball media channels, on Channel 44, on NITV. Coming to you across the country, it's Eric Balnar, joined by Kathy Lambert and Lee Hull. Kathy, Lee, thanks for joining me today. We've got a good matchup today. It's the Seacombe Tigers, they're 1-1. Versus the undefeated 1-0 Port Adelaide Magpies in the early season. Kathy, you've watched a little bit of Seacombe as well too. They're 1-1. What have you seen from them that you like so far, and what are you looking forward to today?
What I really like is how their young players have really stepped up to the plate, and they literally have no fear out there. So you know, considering they're coming into the season with quite a few changes and missing their strikeout queen Jade Peterson, who's off having a baby, it certainly hasn't been an impact on their team at all. So Coach Radigan has done a great job in putting a lot of confidence and belief and skill into these youngsters to step up to this level.
And to drive that home, I think that you can trust these Seacombe Tigers with a softball bat, but you couldn't trust them on the road, considering that I think they've got 5 players that are under the age of 16. So a big responsibility to fill, but they've played some exciting games. They've lost one game by 1 run to the defending premiers, Walkerville, 4-3, and they were up big on the Hills, and the Hills clawed their way back in there, but the final score was 8-7. That is just wild to think about.
Absolutely, and what cool calm heads for these young people. I mean, what a credit to Softball SA and the Dragons Academy that's been implemented and in place now for the last few years, because these youngsters have come out of that. They had some very successful tournaments the last couple of years in under 15s and gone straight now into an A-grade competition, and you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know that they're so young. So, you know, as I said, credit to Softball SA, and let's hope that that program continues and keeps churning out some of these great youngsters, because our future looks great.
So we're about to watch a Tigers team with a high roster turnover. They're 1-1. They're young, they're hungry, they're fun to watch. We're going against a Port Adelaide team who Lee Hull, who will bring it in just a second here, and myself both have tipped to finish in possibly the top 3 here, because 2 years ago they didn't win a game. Last year they finished just outside the top 4, and this year they've totally retooled and they keep improving that side, and they're looking poised to make a serious run at it this year.
They certainly are, Eric, and the advent of the hyphenator, as I'll call her, Katie Sutherland Finch, that's Sutherland-Finch, to this side, and she was awesome against Sturt. Now, putting into reality, Sturt have a very young batting side, but she could do no more, and she's quick. We've seen her warming up here, Kathy and I, earlier on. She had some real toe about it. They've also picked up people like Gemma Letton, the under-17 MVP from the Nationals in January just gone, and that she's playing in the outfield along with Rita Meyer, who is probably the fittest female person I've ever met.
And then they add in some pretty good quality in the infield with a transfer over from Glenelg and Jess Neves, who makes her debut tonight for Port Adelaide as well.
Along with Tash Straps from Sturt. So Tash, you don't pick her
Stars
up.
Player.
You can walk past and not recognise her.
Well, on the mound today is another young star. Kathy, what can you tell us about this young starting pitcher for the Seacombe Tigers?
Yeah, so Adahab Munro, I've seen as a staff member for the under-15s for the last 2 years. Yeah, very strong, hits her spots, struck out, it would have been about 11 batters on Wednesday night. just know, and as you said, against the reigning champions, and no fear. So, you know, what an exciting prospect for the future.
Yeah, Arrow Munro, a lot of strikeouts, a good number of walks, though, and that's what you're going to get from a young pitcher. So I'm sure that's where they're looking for a bit of room for improvement. But she looks to be just about as good as any of the future prospects in the pipeline here in South Australia.
Yeah, and a good batter as well.
So let's go through the defensive rotation. Kathy, for Seacombe, who's out in the field today?
All right, so we've got Adaha Munro pitching to Peyton Daniels. On first, we've got Amy Goodman. Second, another youngster, Sasha Mutz. Steph Hall at short. Ebony McLean is playing third. And in left field, Becky Havis from out in the Gawler Association. Courtney Munro in the middle, and another youngster from the under-15s last year, Jazz Blight, out in right field.
So a very, very young side, and Port Adelaide's batting lineup, if you compare it to 2 years ago, night and day. Lee, leading off this game, we'll get through the lineup quickly, is Maddie Matchkey. And Maddie Matchkey was one of those members of that team that didn't win a game a couple years ago. And credit to her for sticking with their club, helping helping them lead through that transition last year to now they look like contenders this season. And she's batting at the top of the lineup. It's Maddie Matchkey. You've got to like that, Lee.
Certainly do, and she would be loving it when you go through a season without winning, or even if you win one game. It's just such a, you drive home afterwards and you think, oh, I've had a good day out, you know, get a win, they help.
Well, it's a beautiful day down here, not much wind. I'm predicting we could see a home run in this game. 28 degrees, perfectly still here at West Beach. Unbelievable afternoon for softball as the first ball is thrown in there, taken there by Peyton Daniels. So a very young battery combination right here. As Aroha Munro settles in that first batter, as a youngster, you figure you just want to get in there and get that first out of the game and settle yourself in there instead of putting yourself in a pressure situation. So the first at bat for a young team, always crucial, sometimes more than those experienced teams.
Yeah, and I remember on Wednesday night, Adaha struck out in her first inning, struck out all first three batters. That had a really good start. An
impressive start to a season. And she gets in there with another strike, so it's a just a head, oh, I guess it's a ball? What was that called? 3 balls, 1 strike. So a hitter's count here for Maddie Matchkey. Good opportunity for now a veteran of this Magpies team to get on board. Butch Sims must see something here in Maddie Matchkey to keep trusting her, and there's a walk. So we know that was sort of the issue with Aroha Munro earlier in the week, and she's a young player and she's going to work through it, but she walks the first batter, which brings up Emily Catuzzo. But while she's walking up to the plate, Lee, would you like to take us through the rest of the lineup for Port Adelaide? Knowing there's a runner on base, they could be getting up pretty soon.
Certainly, and it's Emily Catuzzo, who played catcher last year for the Magpies. She's batting as the DP in this game. She'll be followed in by Rita Meyer. Then comes Tash Straps. Then the pitcher, Katie Sutherland Finch, followed by Taylor George, Jess Neves, Ella Forrester, and Georgia Murphy. Gemma Letton is the player that's playing at left field, but Emily's batting for her.
So another good combination as this is flared out towards right field. It should be playable, but it goes by Jazz Blight. So Maddie Matchkey is going to round from second and run into third. So bit of a misplay in the outfield, and it is runners on the corner, and the Magpies are threatening very early.
Yeah, that was a great hit, and yes, you're right. I think just Jazz just either lost a little bit in the sun or just didn't get her feet back quick enough. Just a little bit of a misplay, didn't get behind it, more on the side of it. But what a great way to start for Emily Catuzzo.
So a very difficult situation to start off with for the young Aroha Munro. Rita Meyer, Lee, up to bat, and you like Rita Meyer a lot.
I certainly do. I was wondering why Emily didn't go to 2 on that hit. It looked like at least a 2-base hit, but just being careful not to get out, that's fair enough.
But she's just stolen that bag to get into 2, so it's runners on second and third.
That's right.
So Rita Meyer, a good opportunity to stamp her authority on this club early in the season. When was the last time Port Adelaide was at 2-0? That's what's at stake here for them to go to a 2-0 start to the season. They didn't win a game until game number 6 or 7 last year, so they'd be ahead of the curve already if they can get the W today.
Yeah, what a great start to the season it'll be. Looking good on the stats, and they look great in the new uniforms as well.
So young Peyton Daniels has to be aware there as that ball sort of sailed on her a little bit, but she drives it in at home. So no pass balls here, but it's a 2-0 count. A walk's not the worst case scenario though, because it does open up every bag for a play. So
yeah, and a double one at that.
This one gets in, and it's another ball, so it's a 3-0 count. So what do you do when you're in a 3-0 count, runners on second and third, no out? Do you pitch? Do you just go? It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Sorry, but what do you do if you get to that situation? Do you just sort of let them take the bag, or?
I think so. I think so. Like you said earlier, that if the bases are full, that's fine.
Swing and a miss. That's a good pitch, though. She goes ahead behind 2-0, and now she's worked it back to a 2-2 count. And she's a strikeout pitcher, so she can go for it.
One of the first pitches that she's thrown down in the zone, where most of them have been up. On Wednesday night, they were up.
So this is a full count, sorry, 3-2 count. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, and that is a clutch strikeout from the young Aroa Munro. Gets Rita Meyer swinging, and she was in a bit of a sticky situation, works her way back in it, and that is impressive from the young Tig on the mound.
Absolutely. Two runners in scoring positions, and you know, your number 3 batter up and full count, and yeah, just as I said, I mean, this is a really exciting prospect for the future when those things happen at that time.
Well, here's a Stars player in Tash Straps. She was at Sturt. She can pitch, she can play first, she plays in the outfield, she can play all over the diamond, and she's going to bring a steady head to this team as well too in Tash Straps. So she's batting in the middle of the lineup. That's not bad to have inserted right away. And this is hit over towards first. Tries to lob it to home, but Munro can't quite get grip of the ball, so it's an RBI for Tash Straps on a little bloop right towards the pitcher, and it's a 1-0 game.
That would have come out of a bit of a surprise for everyone. I think we all think of Tash as a hitter, and in the number 4 spot, I guess there's a reason for that, but throwing down a late bunt there, what a great play.
Katie Sutherland Finch up to bat, the import pitcher. Came over here because of a relationship with Steph Trzynski. She is was played at Cal with Steph. They were roommates together, and she swings at the first pitch. This is heading over towards left field. Becky Havis moving over it. She brings it in, tries to throw it home, and it's going to be a sacrifice fly to score a run. So it is a 2-0 lead, and the 2 RBIs are coming, one off a bunt and the other one off of a sacrifice fly. Look, it doesn't matter how you get it done, but it is 2 small ball plays right there, and it results in 2 runs. Underrated play there.
Yeah, and that's where it's difficult when you you know, walk players earlier on, and you've got, especially in the top of the lineup, and you've got your bigger batters coming in, and all their job is just to get those runners in, and that's exactly what they did.
Talia George coming to the plate. Lee, what do you like about Talia George?
Talia George last year and the year before was a semi-consistent hitter. Can hit the ball opposite field with a bit of power. Had a child, and then came back. Has a great love for the game, and she's got some skills, and she's playing at centre field today for them.
It's a really interesting mix of young and old on this Port Adelaide team. Usually a pretty good sign to sort of build those winners. You saw that last year with Walkerville. They had a couple of those veterans on the team, and they also had the young kids that got it done, like Sophie Roberts at the biggest stage as well too. Yes,
that's correct, and that's the perfect mix, isn't it? It is, and Kathy was talking about it earlier on, Eric, that with the amount of juniors coming through the Dragons program, has been a big plus for our sport.
That's softball. A nice pitch, though. She's got some heat, Aroha Munro.
Yeah, she works, does pitching coaching with Catherine Bishop, so some great mentoring and skill learning coming from her.
Well, you can't be too upset with how the runs are scored. I mean, they were off small ball, so they put some pressure on the defense to make some plays, and they weren't able to do that. But pretty impressive, though, from Port Adelaide to score the runs via small ball, but not too concerning yet for the Tigers. She's not getting hit around.
No, but 2 runs on the board in the bank, and the hyphenator will be loving this situation. She'd like this innings to go a little bit longer offensively.
Yeah, you give a good pitcher a bit of wiggle room, and that's going to cause some problems. I mean, we talked about that with a lot of times last year with Gabby Snyder pitching for Walkerville. As soon as they were up 3-0, it was like that was it. You're like, yep, that's it. They're not coming back from this. It's 3 runs versus Gabby Snyder. So we'll see if Katie Sutherland Finch has the same pedigree, and by all reports, she probably does.
Yeah, it'd be good to see her. I didn't catch her in the last game or debut game last week, but certainly heard there was a lot of chatter going on around the softball community that she's got some heat, so it'll be great to see her in action here.
And a swing and a miss on Jess Neves. She missed last week. She's a dual sport athlete. She's quite a good soccer player as well, too. I think she plays, doesn't she play against Jordan Lambert as well, too?
She does. So Jordan, Chelsea Robinson, and Hannah too from Sturt, and Ada Cariana and Regan Lambert all play on the same side, soccer side, and yes, they do play against Jess.
There you go. That's all of them dual sport athletes. I think she was at a tournament, though, representing Adelaide at a tournament in the Gold Coast, I believe. So now I guess it's full throttle softball season, and she's back in a Magpies uniform, where Lee says that's where she always belonged. Here's the pitch, and Neves chops at this one. This one's going foul as well, too. So Neves staying alive on some pitches that have some pace. She's just getting the bat on the ball.
Yeah, she had 2 years at Glenelg and has moved back to Port Adelaide, and looks very happy there.
And she played in a grand final with Glenelg as well, too, so she did have some success there. Watches this go just outside, so it's a 1-2 count. Good patience there shown by Jess Neves. She can make some flashy plays in the field as well, too.
Yeah, she had I think one of the top 10 plays that was in the highlight package last year.
They have a couple pretty good players in the middle infield. I think they're missing one of them, though, today as they walk. Oh, that's a big strikeout, sorry. So it's a second strikeout. That's how they get 2 of the outs for Arrow and Munro, but she strikes out 2, but she does walk 2 and allow 2 runs. So already in a bit of a bind, 2-0, and Katie Sutherland Finch is going to come to the mound. We'll start with Katie Sutherland Finch, Lee, and work our way around the diamond with Port Adelaide.
Thank you, Eric. Yes, well, she's the pitcher, obviously. The catcher is the young person, Georgia Murphy. At first base, Tash Straps. In the hole at second, it's Ella Forrester. And third base, Maddie Matchkey. And at shortstop, Jess Nevis. And the outfield from left to right, Gemma Letton, Talia George, Rita Meyer.
One person they are missing notably in this lineup right now is one of your favorite players, Megan Williams. Chicken Williams.
Yeah. Well, Megan, yes, she's has an injury, and she'll be welcome back for sure. She can play. She's a very good player, very good defensive player, and she added some hitting with that last year.
Yeah, probably the breakout offensive player of the year last year.
And it made her the all-round player that she was last time we saw her.
And the Baby Tigers, what do we have in terms of the batting lineup today, Kathy?
We've got Steph Hull leading off, and youngster, but certainly one of our little speed program graduates, Sasha Mutz, coming in second, so I would imagine she'd be looking to bunt and run very fast. Jazz Blight is in the left-handed, also one of the under-15s from last year. Amy Goodman will be cleaning up in 4th place, in the 4th position. Ebony McLean in the 5th position. Youngster Peyton Daniels, who's in the catching duties today, will be at 6th. Courtney Munro, 7th batter. Becky Havis in the 8th, and in 9th position, Adaha Munro.
So we are getting the first look here in a moment on the live stream, at least, and all the broadcast games of Katie Sutherland Finch. She arrived in South Australia last Friday. She pitched a shutout game on Saturday, and by all reports is making herself right at home here in South Australia. Everyone's been very welcoming, so she'll be pitching. She's got her family, I'm sure, watching at home. She was telling me before the game it'll be about 5 a.m. and she was hoping that her mom and dad would get up and watch her pitch. So if they are watching, a good day to you in my super Aussie accent. Maybe if Lee said it, it'd be a little bit better, eh? And look at that, she's got some heat. Lee, what do you like about Katie Sutherland Finch?
Just about everything, actually.
Okay,
Eric,
we'll leave it at that. No,
she can hit the ball, she can run. I saw her running on the bases the other night. And she's got some I don't know about tricks, but she's got some toe behind her.
Steph Hull, the batter right now, sort of thrust into a leadership role, Steph Hull, all of a sudden on this team, right at the top of the lineup. And 1, 2, 3 strikes, and you're out. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 1 out, and that is a heck of a start for the hyphenator, Katie Sutherland Finch.
Good game's a good game.
Especially on one of our first warm days of the season too. So yeah, the sooner they can get back in, I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
Yeah, well, she looks dialed in here. She had a decent career at Cal, didn't she, Kathy?
Yeah, she did. I followed her along with Steph while the 4 years that they were there, and had a career ERA of 4.24, and her senior year in 2017 was her best with a 2.68 average. Pretty impressive. 5
pitches, 5 strikes, all of them swinging. It's a young lineup. It's going to be a fun one, I think, to watch today on the mound if she's looking dialed in. She was jet-lagged last week, remember, too. 6 pitches, 6 strikes. So let's set it up right now. Last year, we saw what I saw for the first time in the perfect inning from Gabby Snyder, which was 9 pitches, 9 strikes, and 3 outs. Right now, it's 6 pitches, 6 strikes, all of them swinging, 3 outs, and Jazz Blight to the plate. Getting 3 more perfect, a perfect at-bat here would be nearly impossible, but we're on the verge of it once again.
How exciting.
And the call is, was that called a strike? She went, so it's a strike. So 2 pitches away. That was the play of the year last year, by the way, the perfect inning. So, and we're already early in the season, but Katie Sutherland Finch, 7 pitches, 7 strikes. As you do, g'day, carry on.
I think your accent's getting better.
Thank you, Lee, I appreciate that.
It's coming from a low place, though.
It's coming from you. Here's the pitch again. Here's the pitch.
Oh, we're up to 8.
And there it goes. So 8 pitches, 8 strikes. Katie Sutherland Finch is 1 strike away from a perfect inning to start her TV broadcast debut.
And no doubt she'll be all over what's going on right here and want this as much as the rest of us want to see it. Oh.
The perfect inning.
That's impressive.
9 pitches, 9 strikes. And Katie Sutherland Finch has a perfect inning to start the game. That is unbelievable.
This is setting up to be a really exciting year.
Are you kidding me? I didn't think we'd see that again after we saw Gabby do it last year, and Katie Sutherland Finch, as you do, 9 pitches, 9 strikes.
Fantastic start for the hyphenator, but like a lot of young players, they get the quick pitching, and so they swing harder. No, you don't need to. That's where you get drawn into the pace of the pitch.
That was just a little hey, hi, how are you to the Tigers. Welcome to Australia, Katie Sutherland Finch. Hi, I'm Katie. Nice to meet you. I'm going to throw you 9 strikes, and you're going to swing at all of them and miss. A little formal introduction to the Seacombe Tigers there from Katie Sutherland Finch. So what an absolute start. And she could be fun to watch this season. Yeah, it will be good. It'll be great for our competition to have someone with Katie's caliber pitching in the program, and just her experience. When Katie and Steph Trzynski go head-to-head, is that not going to be one of the games you want to circle on your calendar? That'll be worth turning up for. We'll need to find out when that is and let everybody know. So, and apparently they're great friends. Yeah. But also bitter rivals. Steph's still away, so no doubt they'll be looking forward to when Steph's back here in South Australia, and they can catch up again. Well, Ella Forrester leading off the inning for the Port Magpies. She's actually hosting Katie Sutherland Finch, so really showing how good the softball community is here, and it's similar in baseball. You know, all the clubs have their imports, and you have to make them feel at home, so they host them wherever they can. Kathy, you've been involved with a couple of clubs, but do you see that camaraderie around the clubs that you've been involved with as well, too, in the softball community? Yeah, I have. It's a really nice community. I mean, I've been involved in softball even myself, so you know, we're talking probably 40 years. But it's something about it. We want to help each other out. We want to make sure that we grow our sport in so many ways. It's not just about our own team and our own selves, and that's really nice. And I'm not surprised the Forrester family is hosting. Ella was in the under-15s program a couple of years ago when I was sprinting coach, and she was just an absolute delight to coach, and really keen to learn, and yeah, it's just a beautiful family. So that must be a cool opportunity for someone like Ella, who is one of the younger players, to have such an experienced, almost a mentor, come and live with her for a softball season. Yeah, and she will learn so much from it just by having those connections and conversations around the table. You know, stuff that you're not going to get when you're at training and at the game. So it's just going to be great for Ella. She's got so much potential anyway, and this is just going to be such a benefit for her. Well, Munro's worked her way back in the count here in a bit of a battle of some of the younger players in the state. It's cool to see, knowing that in 3-4 years, these kids are going to be absolute superstars. And hey, 3 strikeouts now for Munro. Getting up there, she's going to try to go toe-to-toe with Katie Sutherland Finch.
And again, no doubt, as a youngster, Adelaide will be looking at Katie also as a bit of a role model and, you know, learning about her game and what she can take out of it as well. So it's not just having these import pitchers coming over and benefiting a team, but it actually benefits our whole softball community.
And here's a bunt popped up in the air. Georgia Murphy, that goes foul. So Lee, I just want to ask you a couple questions here. We're going to go two sides of the coin. So we'll start with coin side number one. You have a young pitcher on the mound in Monroe. She's making one of her first starts. What do you do to coach and advise a young pitcher going in a women's competition where there's a lot of experienced, even national team players there? How do you help guide your young pitcher? What's the advice you give her to get her through a start?
Well, you give her a decent field around her. If you have a good field, you see that the same thing happens with West Torrens with Maddie Scott, because of their really good infield. They have West Torrens a great infield, and Porter's trying to do this, and same with Seacombe, correction. Just put some people in there, you know, with some experience that'll back her up. You know, her job. She throws a lot of pitches up though. See, I'm thinking that if you continually do this, the good batters will stay out of that, and they'll make you throw the ball down where it's in the hitting zone.
And this is hit hard over towards Steph Hull. She grabs that with a bare hand, throw to first. That's a nifty little play. A nice one by Steph Hull, 6-3. So important that they keep the damage limited here for Port Adelaide, but that was kind of cool with the bare hand. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Absolutely. It looked like it was even spinning backwards a little bit, which she adjusted to, yes.
That's a nifty play from Steph Hull. Well done.
She'll have a smile on her face for a little while with that one, I'm sure.
So back to the top of the lineup with Maddie Matchke. She walked her first time aboard. And Lee, now on the other side of the coin here, if you're Port Adelaide and you're going against a pitcher that doesn't have a lot of experience, what are you telling your batters for an approach versus a very inexperienced pitcher?
Stay out of the high stuff.
Simple
as that. It's as simple as that, because Wednesday night, Walkerville were after the high stuff repeatedly, and they nearly suffered for it.
4-3. So, I mean, Munro's done a great job of keeping them in ball games, and it's such big shoes to fill. And Jade Peterson, who is just a strikeout machine, I mean, that's a lot of pressure for the kid, but she doesn't look like she's fazed by it at all, and she's been pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, she's pretty cool and calm. She always has been in the 2 years that I've been involved with her, with the under-15s team, and yeah, just real cool, calm head.
And she was with the under-15s last year too, wasn't she?
She was, yeah. She was with the team that finished runner-up at the Nationals.
And did she pitch and hit as well too?
She yes, definitely pitch, hit, and played first, and did a great job in all three positions.
Yes, and on Wednesday night's game against Walkerville, she got 2 turns of bat for 2 safe hits, so batting at number 9. I think she'd be looking for a rise up the order for the Tigers.
Arrow Munro goes with a ball there, so it's a 1-1 count, but
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sorry, it's really important though that they do keep the damage, because the game can slip away from you pretty quickly. We saw that in last week's broadcast when West Torrens had 2 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, and it was 5-0. And you got one of the best pitchers in the competition, and Maddie Scott on the mound. And I know Walkerville made it interesting late, but I mean, if you dig yourself in a hole against pitchers of quality, you're just not going to get back in the game. It's as simple as that.
So it's a case of playing the percentages a lot in this sport, as it is with most other sports.
So Arrow Munro, can she get through the inning? 1, 2, 3. There's a pitch. This is going to be chopped up towards the middle. It's a bit of a difficult play. Glove throw to first, but just a good run down there from Maddie Matchke to get to first. Sacha Much played it as good she could, but I think just the speed of the ball getting to her was a little too slow.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a miss hit or something in it. Yes.
And in the right spot, right in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Emily Catuzzo, she reached on an error in the first, and that put a runner on second and third. That sort of sprayed out to right field, and she swings at the first one. So a bit of a misplay from Jazz Blight. I mean, you're going to have to take the good with the bad with this Tigers team sometime, and it really is a development year for them. But I think this is a team, if they could pull it together, there's still a final shot, the Tigers. They're by no means an easy opposition.
Yeah, and I certainly am not sure that I had them in my top 4, but I'm rethinking that now.
Well, Catuzzo shows us her power, puts one sky high, and that's over toward Becky Havis, and she makes the catch. So they get 3 pretty easy outs, so that's very good work from the young Tiger team. They keep giving themselves an opportunity, but now they have to go back out there and face the hyphenator, Katie Sutherland Finch.
Yeah, good to see Becky Havis. I know Becky Havis from my time in the Goaler Association, so she played with the Kangas softball team out there, and we've got quite a good crop of girls down here now that have come out of the Goaler Association. So we've got Lana Kaesler, Jordan Lambert, Jess Maslin, well, Becky Havis. They're the ones that I'm aware of, but yeah, they're doing something right up there.
Yeah, there's a few different associations, even up in the hills, and that's why they entered a team in the city comp, because they're developing some players at an alarming clip as well, too. And it's nice to see a lot of these regions start to get some representation in this.
And yeah, absolutely. Some of the girls that have come down also from Central Districts. Ella was playing for Central Districts as well. And I think a couple of others from this Port Adelaide team have come down from there as well.
And it is a good competition. There are 5 players that have national team caps in it as well. You can start with Maddie Cameron, who's off to represent Australia shortly with Sturt. You got Jordan Lambert playing shortstop at West Torrens. You got Chelsea Robinson, who catches, as well as Belle White, who's catches, and Steph Trzynski, who is a mate here of Katie Sutherland Finch. So there's the Power 5 right there, and there's a couple other climbing up the radars pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting future for the softball SA girls. I'm really looking forward to watching it over the next few years. So
Amy Goodman stepping in. Lee, we understand that Jess Maslin was scheduled to play, but she's a little late from work getting here.
Yes, that's correct, Eric, but I'm sure she'll come into this game when she's dressed and ready.
So what do we know about Amy Goodman?
She hasn't played for a while. As one of the, obviously, the Goodman family, and there's a few of them that played.
Yeah, her brothers scored. Are pretty good, right?
Yeah, and I remember Elle Mole used to play, and she could hit the ball a long way.
Wow.
So they have strength in the family.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, unfortunately, she's thrown her first ball of the game, but she's still got 11 strikes in 1 ball. That's not a bad ratio.
Not bad.
But she has, that riser just has some heat to it, doesn't it, Lee?
It does, and you know, you have a look at her, and she's just looks a little bit like a pocket rocket to me, and to put that much power behind it, she's obviously got great mechanics.
And so is that what it is, just the mechanics of it and where that release point is, or?
Yeah, definitely, to be able to generate that much power, because usually we'd be looking at really tall pitchers to be able to do that, but yeah, she's done some really good work in her time and had some good pitching coaches.
So it's a full count to Amy Goodman, and that is some good experienced batting in the box here to stay off some of this stuff that she's throwing at her. But at the end of the day, Amy Goodman, I mean, don't feel too bad. It's a 4th strikeout and 4 batters for Katie Sutherland Finch.
Impressive.
Well, this is someone that I know Seacombe's very excited to have back for a full season. Ebony McLean, she was really starting to blossom 2 years ago and then got hurt right at the beginning of last season and missed most of the year. And you got to figure if they had someone like McLean in the lineup, they probably would have made the finals, but they just dropped so many 1-run games last year and so many leads they gave up that one player sometimes makes that little difference, and they're hoping it's Ebony.
Yeah, I think she's got the goods to do it too. As you said, she's had quite a bit of experience. She played in state teams as a junior for many years. She's got a nice little swing on her there. Yeah, love to see her getting back to the form that she had previously before injury.
So Ebony McLean up here. She's already down 0-2. Here's the pitch from Katie Sutherland Finch, and another strikeout swinging. So that's 5 strikeouts swinging for Katie Sutherland Finch in 5 batters.
Just talking about Emily, she leaves us like a lot of her teammates at the moment. She is very good defensively, and I think playing at third base, you know, she's probably running second to Lana Kaesler as far as third base players go that I've seen.
Peyton Daniels now up to bat. What do we know about Peyton? Hey, it's a ball. That's a win.
Come back to the ball.
Well, I know that she's young because I know that she just finished an under-17 game just before this one.
Classic.
So
16, I believe.
16.
Maximum.
It's a team. It's the teenage Tigers, but they're feisty. These Tigers. They play hard. They're fun to watch. So Peyton Daniels, it's a 1-1 count. 5 batters, 5 strikeouts so far for Katie Sutherland Finch. I mean, Gabby Snyder won the best and fairest last year. She had a couple games where she had 10, 11 strikeouts, and she was just an all-arounder and awesome to watch. But when was the last import that came in the competition that dominated like this with the strikeouts? That would be Monica, probably.
Yeah, it'd have to be Monica. The first couple of years, you know, I mean, she was still strong, you know, out by her 5th year, but I guess after a while, people were starting to get a little bit familiar with her pitches. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. 6 batters, 6 strikeouts, all swinging. I mean, the Tigers have their handful. Every team is going to have their handful with Katie Sutherland Finch. I guess last week she struggled a little bit because she had the shutout, but was also jet lagged, and now she's adjusted. It's a scary thought.
It is. It is when you know that there's so many more games to go. But what I've liked about this just 2 short innings that I've seen from her is how clever she is with her pitches. You know, she's putting on a high one when there's 2 strikes on, and really sucking those youngsters in to a swing, and you know, putting them outside, and a whole range of different things. So not just that she's got so much heat, but she's also got great placement and great knowledge about where to put the ball.
It's sort of a dangerous combination, isn't it, Lee? You've got an experienced pitcher who's played college baseball, or college softball rather, versus a very young team.
Yes, it is, and only time will change that, Eric. You were saying about the build of Katie. Well, she's very similar to her friend Steph Jasinski. They're similar looking pitchers, and both of them can throw some heat.
So Jess Maslin is here now. She's probably, if you were to name a star player, I mean, they lost Jenny Dunn, who's a Stars player and a women's baseball all-star as well, too. They lost, obviously, a gun pitcher who can strike out anyone at a notice in Jade Peterson. And Jess Maslin probably left as that key bat in the lineup now. This is a perfect day for her. She's hit home runs on days like this quite frequently, and she's a big into the lineup here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, and she had a great game on Wednesday night. She had a hit and had a very pivotal play from the outfield, catching a ball and throwing it in to the catcher. But speaking of Jenny Dunn, she made a reappearance on Wednesday night, so I'm not sure if that was just a once-off or she'll be coming back on a regular basis. But she got a hit out there that I'm aware of. And
it's a concussion that they've been worried about, hasn't it? So those are very hard to deal with and adjust. And here's a bit of a running bunt. Throw over to first and caught. That is well executed from the Tigers. Ebony McLean with a nice throw over to Jess Maslin. Rita Meyer tried to get them off board here, or Sasha Mutz, sorry, covering second. But yeah, Kathy, nice play.
Yeah, it was, and caught him off guard a little bit, I think. I mean, a good, however, great, as we were talking about Lee before, great wheels on Ebony to get into that ball quickly and hit it over to the very young Sasha Mutz at second.
Well, if you're just listening to the first broadcast, Lee tends to have an ability to predict some things and be right about 1 or 2 things in his career, and there was one right there. Is Ebony McLean, gun defender, and probably a bit underrated as well too. And the second one is, if they're going to succeed with a young pitcher on the mound, the defense really has to be there, doesn't it, Lee?
Certainly does, but thanks, I think, Eric, for that.
Tash Straps up to plate. She had a walk and then got all the way to second, did not score last time she was up. And then there was the RBI, there was a sac fly a bit later on, so.
Tash she can really hit the ball hard at times. I think I've got her up for a hit up the middle here.
We'll see. Well, big call from Lee here. She can drive it though, can't she?
Yeah, she gets the ball right in the meaty part, right in the middle of the bat, and she just gets some real solid hits consistently.
So a 3-0 count for Tash. We'll see if she has the green light here, and if Arrowhead just throws one there, and she does, and she swings at that one. That was a good pitch, though. She knew she was swinging and got her.
Yeah. That's
so it's a full count.
Full count brings up 3-2.
Monroe has 3 strikeouts on the day already. See if she can get number 4. And this is hit up the middle. It goes off of hole, and it was a tough one to play. And Tash Straps, you put the ball in play, you get on base, and puts a bit of pressure on the young Tigers.
Yeah, that certainly had some pace coming off of it. It just caught Steph Hull just a little bit of a surprise there. I think she was looking for a little bounce, but no, just floated right along the ground.
Katie Sutherland Finch has an RBI already. She's up to bat. We'll see what she can do at the bat. I think she must be having some fun. She was a pitcher in college, and now gets to play a bit of two-way, and she gets to play it. I know she was just over in the Netherlands, I believe, playing. And this is hit hard. This is high up in the air. Could it be playable? Havis moves under that and gets her down. So that's 2 flyouts to the same spot for Katie Sutherland Finch, and all on the first pitch as well, too. So 2 outs. Good job, though. The Tigers keeping them off the base pass. I mean, surely Katie Sutherland Finch is going to give up a hit or a walk or something soon. The Tigers are going to know they're going to have to bounce on whatever opportunity that is. But, you know, if you keep around in the game, you increase your chances.
That's right. And it'll be interesting to see what Coach Radigan is saying to these youngsters in terms of how they're going to make an adjustment the second time they come around the lineup in seeing Katie. Or, you know, whether they'll stick to the game plan. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. Yeah, and Eric, I think... how exciting for a lot of these pitchers that grow up playing junior ball where they are batters and pitchers, and then they go to college and they're more specialized and only doing one role. But I know that Steph was so excited to come back and be able to do some batting as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Katie's feeling the same.
So Talia George up to bat right now. She reached with a walk earlier, and she swings and misses at that one to end the inning. So that's 4 strikeouts for Erwa Munro, and what a job by her. They manufactured 2 runs, and one was off an error and a walk, so not the greatest way to start it. But you take out those 2 first batters, and it's been very clean from the Tigers. They are no slouch.
Absolutely, and that's what I was saying is so impressive about this youngster. I mean, obviously maybe a little bit of nerves in the beginning, you know, whether the warm-up was, you know, affected the start, who knows. But you're right, take those 2 out, and we've got a completely different game.
Well, it's often just how you start those ball games, Lee, and we talked about this last week on the broadcast, Cappy, about easing into ball games. You just can't.
Yes, Eric, that's true. But like you said, getting back to what you said about Seacombe, we've got to jump on their chances. They get somebody on, hit by a pitch ball, base on balls. I don't think she's going to throw too many walks, this girl.
So are you, if the Tigers do get a runner on, and I'm assuming it's going to happen because that's just what happens in softball games, are you aggressive on the base pass, maybe more so than usually, knowing you have to push for that run, or are you a bit more complacent?
I think I'd be a bit more conservative, seeing you're not getting many people on, like none at the moment, and so then you have to play a little bit conservative, probably go the bunt. You're only chasing 2 at this stage, so
you just have to manufacture something.
Yeah, you do, and you've just got to outthink them, outthink the opposition. That's it.
Well, Courtney Munro up to bat. What do we know about Courtney Munro?
Courtney Munro, she was, I think she played the first game. She didn't play the second game for him. Reasonably good player, a steady player.
Steady player in a steady position in the batting lineup at number 7. Increased opportunity this year, absolutely, with a few departures from the Tigers.
Well, I'm just wondering why Araha is batting down so low after seeing her batting on Wednesday night against Walkerville.
Oh, so this is Erwa Munro right now?
Yeah.
So Courtney Munro will be later, I guess.
No, Courtney Munro's here now.
Oh, this is Courtney Munro,
I'm
yeah.
saying that when you said Courtney's down, Araha is down further.
And are they related?
Oh, they have to be sisters, surely.
Well, you never know.
Well, I'm going for sisters.
Well, I mean, I feel like that'd be a good bet, but you never know.
They have a very similar smile, the 2 of them, so
They
we'll find
have
out.
to be sisters.
Well, obviously
Kathy,
the same name.
You made a relevant point there that's fantastic.
Well, I think Jordan Lambert and Regan Lambert, they're sisters in the competition.
Yes, and they look nothing alike.
Nothing.
There goes that theory of their mother.
What other sister combinations do we have in this competition? Catuzos? Emily and Caitlin Catuzzo? Oh, yeah, the Hoods.
The Hoods, and we've got the Robinsons at Walkerville.
And the Robinsons. There's a number of them. Anyone with the same last name that isn't related?
That's a good
Happens
question.
in Australia.
It happens, but I'm wondering if there is one in this competition.
We'll have to have a bit of a think about that one.
And another strikeout. So that's 7 amidst all the sister talk here. There's 7 strikeouts, but that one was looking. So it's still a strikeout, but, you know, she's just changing up how she's getting them this time, I guess. Katie Sutherland Finch?
Yeah, not pulling him in too much now with the high stuff or the outside stuff on 2 strikes, where you tend to, or on full count, where you tend to want to be swinging and at anything close.
So if you are the coach right now of the Tigers, what have you learned here from Katie Sutherland Finch that you could impart some wisdom on your batters and say, hey, lay off this, hey, do this, or hey, just try to figure something out here? She throws a lot of strikes, we've realized.
I think probably an easy answer will be to go to the nearest wood shop and get a piece of 4x3 and replace the bat.
And just hang it out there.
I'd almost be just suggesting a short, maybe a bit of more of a shortened bat, shortened swing, you know, something just to get some balls in play.
Do you try to stick the bat out there and just try to bunt to get on base? It sounds ridiculous, but it's already out too.
And bunts will draw errors potentially. So if the ball's not going in play, you've got no chance of anything. So, you know, any way to get it on is a good.
Yeah, and as we said before, Eric, as soon as you face a fast pitch, your tendency is to swing harder. Well, you don't need to swing harder. There's enough on the pitch for you to just time it. You know, just get around, take a bit of a swing on.
Yep, another strikeout looking. That's the great 8 for Katie Sutherland Finch. I mean, Kathy, when you're out there playing a game and you're in a groove, what's that like when you're in the zone? Have you ever had that playing in your career where you're just on all fires during a game and you're like, yeah, this is going well?
This is going well. Yeah, I did a lot of infield positions, but probably the bulk of my latter part of my career was a pitcher, and there's nothing better than that. Once you get in that groove.
Oh my goodness, what a pitch! Yeah,
it all goes your way. You just keep going, and you get motivated just by the events that are happening. It's great.
You hear athletes all the time in any sport talk about a zone. Yeah, I was in the zone. What is that? You believe it? Are you a subscriber to the zone? Is that a thing?
Absolutely, and I can see it. You can see some of her after she has a strikeout. You can see a little fist pump or like a finger in the air. Like she's loving it. It's great to have her here, and it's exciting that she's really as happy to be here as we already have her. Can
she strike out the lineup? Yes, she can. 9 batters up, 9 amazing. Batters down. That is absolutely insane from Katie Sutherland Finch. I mean, this is ridiculous.
I've not seen this in my time.
Unbelievable. 9 up, 9 down. The whole lineup. I mean, they all can walk in the dugout and just get that starting lineup in a bit of a huddle and say, yeah, I struck out, I struck out, I struck out, I struck out. Is that team bonding for the Tigers? They've all been struck out by Katie Sutherland Finch. This is silly.
Yeah, wow, what a statistic. That's great. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Coach Scott Rodigan will be saying to them as they come around the second time.
Yeah, this is she's just toying right now with the Tigers. This is I mean, it takes a special pitcher to do that, but 9 strikeouts. 9 strikeouts.
9 in a row.
Yeah, 3 innings. We've played 40 minutes in this game. Well, it's fun to watch, and let's see if they can keep it going. And now, surely when you have a pitcher like this, as a batter, Lee, you're feeling like you can do anything. It takes some pressure off, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and there's no pressure on you. But she'll stick to her guns, Araha, as we've seen in the 2 previous matches so far this season.
Well, as an opposing pitcher, it has to be a bit frustrating to say, what can I do here? And a first pitch swing here from Jess Neves. Retreating for that is Courtney Munro. She brings it in safely, so another out there. So she has not allowed a hit in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She hasn't allowed a hit. They've been 2 errors. And it's been 2 errors and 2 walks. Can we confirm that with the scores to our right? Have you scored her as an error the 2 times they reached?
Well, I didn't score the long ball to right field as an error, but I may have been wrong. I'm not a scorer.
Well, the score is not in her head saying it was an error. So quite sneakily here, we're in the 4th, and Arrow Munro hasn't allowed a hit. There has not been a hit in this game.
Yeah,
from either side.
Absolutely, and we talk about Katie Sutherland Finch, and of course she's probably she'd probably be about 8 or 10 years older, but with lots and lots of experience behind her. And we look at someone as young as Adaha just matching it with her at the moment, and yeah, doing an amazing job.
So yeah, I mean, what a great pleasure to watch here. I'm actually a big, I think Lee and I have had some conversations about this before. If you have to give me a game where there's lots of offense, lots of run changes, or one where it's low scoring but some great pitching in there, I take the pitching one all the time because it just puts so much more value on how you score those runs when someone does get on base. I love a good pitcher's duel, and we have one. And this is chopped foul. It's in the air, and oh no! Peyton Daniels just missed it. Couldn't quite see where it was, but that is lucky for Ella Forrester to stay alive in the at-bat.
Yeah, she definitely lost it a little bit there. Wasn't really sure where it was. So Ella would definitely be breathing a sigh of relief there and having another opportunity here. Yep.
Look at that. So that's strikeout number 5. That is unbelievable. So 5 strikeouts for Errol Munro. I actually now feel a little bit bad for Errol. I feel good for her because she's having a great game out there. But, I mean, on any other broadcast, we'd be sitting here and she would be the story. What a great pitching performance this is. She's got a no-hitter into the 4th. She struck out 5. She's young. This is a good hitting side as well in Port Adelaide. Instead, 9 up, 9 strikeouts. That's what she's going against.
So you're suggesting that the hyphenator is the difference at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a genius, I think, to see that one, Lee. You say a lot of smart things in your life, though, and that was just one of the obvious ones. We'll put it that way. Lee, no, it's a good game, though. And Georgia Murphy, I know you're a Georgia Murphy fan as well, too, another player that's just getting better every year.
Yes, given the opportunity. She started off at Port. She was playing second base because Emily Kutuso was the catcher.
Really?
But Em's moved on to other positions. And George has come in and Georgie has come in and has done the job.
Hit in the air, should be playable, and it's just dropped, so she'll reach on another error. So it stays alive, and that was dropped by Sasha Mutz. So an error on the second puts a runner on. So, I mean, this is just sort of what again, symptomatic for a young team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are things that you just have to start working out as the season goes on, because come finals teams against the good teams, that's not quite going to cut it. But they are a young team, and they are going to get better as well, too, and that's going to happen in the sun.
Absolutely. I mean, you could, you certainly see the minute she dropped her ball underneath that, rather than getting her body underneath it, she was going to always be in trouble, particularly with the sun out here as well. But as you said, Eric, it's just a matter of time and development for some of these youngsters, and the fact that they're able to come out here and look relatively confident with what they're doing is already half the battle. So the skills can come with good coaching.
And a good pitch there, just a bit outside. So Maddie Matchke back up to the plate. She's walked, and I had an infield hit or an error. I can't remember what that was scored as in her second at bat, but Maddie Matchke up to bat. And here's the throw over towards second, and that's just a bit wayward. So after all of that, we have a runner getting around here. That's Georgia Murphy over towards third.
It's actually Jess Neves just come in the run, right?
Yeah. Jess Neves, Lee.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there by the look of it. Catcher went to throw it, and not a second or a shortstop in sight, allowing Jess Neves to make that extra base to third.
So Maddie Matchke now has an opportunity off of the error. They can take advantage here and make it a 3-0 game. There's the pitch just outside. Yep, it is a walk. Maddie just confirming there. So she's gone on base 3 times in her 4 innings, Maddie. So she's having a pleasant little, hey, if you're the leadoff hitter and you're on base 3 times, job done.
This is danger now for the Tigers, because Emily likes this situation. A couple on base, 2 out, and a couple of runs here.
And I'm sure you're going to see Maddie Matchke go and try to force that throw over to second, you'd imagine. If you're the Tigers, you just got to lay low, just let her take the bag. Work, Arrow is a strikeout pitcher. She could probably get her out herself.
Yeah, they'll definitely be looking to stop this run coming home. It'll just make it that much harder to try and peg that back when you've got 3 as opposed to 2.
There might be a different pressure on the defense this year for the Tigers. I think it was James Harris that had some ridiculous stat for us last year that, Jade Peterson accounted for, 9 or 10 strikeouts per game, which means that really, if games are only winning in six innings, there's really only 9 outs the rest of the defense had to worry about. And now it might be a little bit more this year, but it's going to be a test on the defense.
Yeah, and a test, and then an opportunity to again develop their skills and test what they can do when the ball's coming their way with all the pressure of people on bases. So.
And here's a hard hit. It goes off of Munro, drifts over towards first. That's going to score a run. An unlucky bounce, throw over to home, and that gets in 2. So the Magpies have scored 2. Meanwhile, Gattuso thinks about third, retreats to second, but it took a weird hop off the pitcher and bounced to just sort of no man's land, and it was enough for the Magpies to score 2. It's a 4-0 ball game, and they'll check if Munro's okay.
Yeah, looking at that replay, that came back at her really hard, but good movement by Jess Maslin to get and recover that ball and try and get it into home for that out at home.
So a 2 RBI hit here for Emily Gattuso, and that's 4-0, and that's a big difference. And one error puts them on base, and a few minutes later, it's a 4-0 game. But the story here now is hopefully Munro's okay. She's pitched a very good game, Munro. As Rita Meyer stands in with a runner on second, she'll like that.
Yeah, she has. So has pitched well. And
there's an error at second, then a walk, and then the 2 RBI single there, and that's that.
So that was the first hit. The 2 RBI single.
She's had a great game, but just a couple defensive mistakes. And Munro, she looks okay. She's young. She's tough.
And she's got a good smile as well. So good to see her that she's picked herself up a little bit. She'll be all right to finish.
She looks like she enjoys herself out there, though, doesn't she?
That's what I like a lot about this young Seacombe team, is they look like they really enjoy their softball. And actually, not even just the youngsters, but Ebony McLean is another one. Always has a smile on her face, and you know that's what it's about. At the end of the day, that's what keeps these girls coming back from year after year. Is you actually have to really enjoy. You have to enjoy your sport.
So Rita Meyer comes back to the plate. She struck out, and then that was that great play earlier where Ebony McLean came in and zipped it across to Sasha Mutz, who made the catch. So she was sort of robbed of the hit there by just some nifty Tiger defense. We'll see what she can do in her third at-bat. Butch Sims was just raving about this pickup that he made in the offseason.
I don't know much about Rita, so where does she come from, Lee?
Up at Centrals, plays for the USC club, which was Butcher's club, yes, she's been around. Well, so the last time she played down here was in a few years ago now for Walkerville.
This is popped up, heads up, Lee. This one's coming right at you here in foul territory. Will you get a souvenir?
I've seen enough of softballs to worry about getting the souvenir, Eric, but thanks for the invite.
So here is the pitch coming up here. Still 2 outs, a 1-2 count. Rita Meyer trying to get on base for the first time. Law of averages would suggest this is the one, and she hits this pretty hard over towards center field. Courtney Munro backtracking. That's a fantastic grab from Courtney Munro. She was fighting the sun, and it's a crucial catch because it keeps her team still alive in striking distance. Take a look at this replay, Lee.
Looked like it was gone to me.
That's
from
a nice
here.
grab.
Oh, yeah, that's terrific. Courtney, that's why she's in there at center field.
Yeah, that was a solid play, and fighting the sun. We already saw a drop ball earlier just because of the sun, so that one had sort of danger marks all over me, and a really nice catch from Munro. Sister and sister helping each other out.
And if you read them all, you're not too disappointed about getting out on that because she hit it as long as she could.
Yeah, what a great catch off on her backhand. Really impressive.
Well, we head to the top of the order. Now the question is, what have the Tigers learned from going through Katie Sutherland Finch for the first time? She's 9 up, she's 9 down, she is 7 strikeouts swinging and 2 strikeouts looking.
Well,
that's an okay stat line.
One thing they have learned is a quick game's a good game.
Yeah, well, a good game for Port Adelaide. I don't think the Tigers looking at the same.
You don't get too tired.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's still some time in this ball game. One inning can change everything, so we'll see how we go. But I also do coming out. So, Katie Sutherland Finch will step in on the mound. with her family watching at home, we hope. And if they are, I'm not even checking online. But say hi if you are, and we'll look here in a second. And also watching, she asked me specifically to give a shout out to her dog, Odie. So Odie is watching, and I'm sure Odie is jumping around and yelping and barking at the TV because it's an excellent game from her owner. And another good pitch.
Top of the lineup here, Steph Hull.
Well, it's been a heck of a performance so far. And, oh, look at that, we got contact. Was that the first contact we've had?
I believe so.
So it takes the 10th batter for someone just to touch the ball, and she grazed it, and it went slightly foul. So the first contact made here in the 4th inning. Congratulations. No, I mean, I joke, but I like, this is impressive to watch. Even the Tigers have to be pretty impressed by seeing this. 0-2 count, and strikeout number 10. 10 strikeouts, 10 batters. Katie Sutherland Finch, the strikeout machine like we've never seen before. This is getting wild.
I'd be wondering if Coach Morgan Young, head coach of the Stars, has had a bit of a conversation with Katie about potentially trialing for the team. Well,
there we go. We got a listener named Lloyd Sutherland Finch, and Lauren Finch watching. Odie is her Great Dane. They're chiming in. They're watching her daughter. Hey Lloyd, hey Lauren, is Katie doing okay in this game? 10 strikeouts, 10 pitches. She's behind at 1-0. This is probably your low point of the game, being behind in a batter for the first time.
So if you got Lloyd on the airways there, ask him what sort of a name is that for a dog? Odie.
Odie. It's a good name, I think. It's a Great Dane.
That's the name from the Garfield days. Garfield was the cat and Odie was the dog. I'm assuming that might be where it's come from, but I remember that.
So it's a 2-1 count, and now Odie's saying hi, apparently, as Lloyd's watching. Well, Lloyd, what do you think? How's Katie doing today? Let us know what you think. She's 10 strikeouts, but she's in a 2-1 count here, so Sasha Mutz can stay patient here, work her way on base, and that is called strike. So it's a 2-2 count. Looked a little low, but it's called a strike. Hey, it's got to work there.
2 strikes.
So a 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Strike away from going to strikeout number 11. Can she go 11 up, 11 down?
She's got her hands a little higher on the bat, so maybe she's decided to make some adjustments.
Swing and a miss. But you're right, you said shorten the swing earlier, and that's, I'm sure, what they're trying to do. But it's 11 strikeouts now for Katie Sutherland Finch. I have never seen anything like this before. Jazz Blight up to bat.
Another youngster, 3rd batter in here, but again, just out of the under 15 team from last year. So she's usually known for little short slaps. So let's see what she's going to do here.
And you can see them all have their hands up to bat a little bit. So you think that probably was Scott Radigan saying, girls, just shorten the swing, and if you can make contact, just put the ball in play. If you're a fielder, are you getting bored in this game if you're Port Adelaide?
Well, they might be bored, but they'd certainly be in awe of this performance that's going on. So if it's probably 10 games in the season, then yeah, probably would be a little bit boring. But I don't think they would mind, especially if they're taking the 2 points each week.
In all of that, a bit of a change. We've got Stansfield now over at first base, and a swing and a miss. So that's the 2nd strikeout. Looks like Tash Straps has moved over to 2nd. No, and Ella Forrester, I think, might be out of the game. So a couple adjustments there. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Can she get through 4 innings with 12 strikeouts up high?
Yeah, well left there from Jazz.
11 batters, 11 strikeouts. Can she go 12 for 12 and remain without a blemish on the record? Only 1 time has anyone made contact on a slight tipped foul ball. Can she go 12 for 12? Here's the pitch from Katie Sutherland Finch. Nope, you hear that loud and clear. It's a full count. Here we go. It's all on the line right here, Lee.
I'm going base on balls.
It's on the line.
I know. I'm giving it a K2.
The most precarious position that Katie has been in all day. 11 strikeouts.
Come on, Jess.
Jazz Blight trying to break it up right here. Here's the pitch.
Yeah.
Strikeout. She's got her, and a big smile from Katie as she runs off. She knows she's doing something special right here. 12 batters, 12 strikeouts. Are you kidding me?
That was a venturesome of you going for a strikeout.
Oh my goodness.
I was going for the odds.
Well, Jazz Blight battled there, but that is actually unbelievable for me that one person has even touched the ball.
And what a good game Georgia Murphy's playing too. To be honest, she's not chasing things up here or down low in the dirt. She's doing a great job.
You're absolutely right. So, I mean, this is unbelievable. So, good. This is fun to watch. But we're here in the 5th inning now, and you know what? We are going to need a bit of a rally here for the Tigers at some point, but a good opportunity for the Tigers to go into victory mode. So let's take a look, though, a quick recap. Maddie Matchke and Emily Catuzzo scored the first 2 runs. One was off of a sacrifice fly. The other one was off an error. And then in the last inning, there was an error just at second base, and that with 2 outs, and that put a couple runners aboard. And it was an RBI single from Emily Catuzzo, which scored 2 runs. And that's been the difference. Only a couple hits allowed so far from Erla Munro. She's got 5 strikeouts. She's having a heck of a ball game, but it is 4-0, and the Magpies are up at the moment.
Yeah, and considering the strength of Katie and what she's doing with Port at the moment, it's not a blowout. Seacombe are doing a really good job, and Adelaide obviously through the middle, doing a good job of keeping the score down. And as you said, I mean, apart from 1 hit, the runs really have just come from errors.
Peyton Daniels just drops that one. That's okay, though. It's a 2-0 count. So we still have half an hour to play. So the game's moving along at a nice clip, though. Although if Port score a couple runs, we're going to get into some mercy rule territory. Was it 7 after 5, is it?
Yeah, 7 after 5.
So I think if you're Port Adelaide, though, you don't want to score 3 here. You want to get Katie back out there and see what she can do and just see how long you can go. Yeah,
that would be a talking point if we get 7 innings in, and potentially we're going to have 21 strikeouts.
Well, you don't want to say those words, but she's doing fantastic at the moment. So I don't know how superstitious they are. Are they all just not talking to her in the dugout right now, like in baseball? Or can she add a hit to her day? She's on deck as Tash Straps is here. It's a 2-2 count. Just past the hour mark here, Port Adelaide and Seacombe. Been a pleasure. Thanks for everyone joining us all around the world. Eric Ballnar here with Kathy Lambert and Lee Hull.
Yeah, we've got some good matchups happening for the rest of the day as well. We've got Sturt and Glenelg. So Glenelg had their first win with their new pitcher on Wednesday night. Sturt still looking for, they've only had 1 game, which was against against Port Adelaide last Saturday. So it'll be a nice little matchup. Both Glenelg will be looking to continue that form, and Sturt obviously will want to get on the board. And I believe Belle White is coming in for her first game this season.
Glenelg, another young team, and we were talking about this the other day, how you've got a young Regan Lambert who is 21 years old.
In a few weeks' time, yes.
In a few weeks. She's not even 21, and she's one of the oldest members of that team.
Yeah, absolutely. That infield is all under 6. Montana Edwards with probably about 17 or 18, and then the pitcher obviously is in low 20s, the one from the Czech Republic, but
that's
all the rest
important
of them,
ad, having the pitcher to really stabilize it.
Absolutely, and yeah, the rest again a little bit like this team here, but it's the whole infield, 16 and under.
There doesn't really look to be any slouches in the competition. We were sort of worried at the beginning of the year that maybe Seacombe and Glenelg would be a teams would sort of walk over a little bit. Not the case. Seacombe 2 one-run games, and they've already got a win. Today, they are fighting hard. It doesn't really indicate the score. There's just something spectacular happening on the other end. And Glenelg's already got a win on the board. So is the competition closer than it's ever been?
Yeah, it's looking that way.
Good pitch.
And won't that be great, you know, for everybody to continue to develop their skills and enjoy the game if we have a really consistent.
And if Hills can beat Walkerville, then everyone will have a win on the board.
That's right. And Hills, they beat Glenelg on Wednesday night, and they almost beat Seacombe last Saturday. So
Sturt beat Glenelg, everybody has a win. Everybody has a win except for Sturt, and they've only played 1 game.
That's right.
Wow. And they had to go against Katie Sutherland Finch, who hasn't allowed a run yet.
Yeah, welcome to the competition, to 18-19 season.
This is going to be fun. Lee, what do you make of it?
You've covered it exceptionally well, both of you, and it's true. It's looking like a really exciting season. Remember last season we had that many draws last season.
That's right.
28th of October last year, we had the whole 3 games were drawn. Can we repeat it sometime during the season? I'm looking forward to it if it happens.
Well, Katie Sutherland Finch takes a walk there, so she's on base for the first time of the game. So Arrow Munro is 6 or 7 strikeouts. Let me go through. She got 1, 2, 3. This is me just counting. 4, 5. Yep, 6 strikeouts for Arrow Munro, and she's got 4 or 5 walks as well too. 3 errors so far in the defensive rotation here for the Tigers, and that really is the difference, is the errors. Those errors don't happen. It actually could be a 0-0 ball game right now, I mean, yeah, you put the ball in play and generally good things happen, and that's all that Seacombe got to try to do against Katie Sutherland Finch. And
it also just shows how important it is, not to allow walks as well. Just one, it doesn't seem like much when you're pitching a whole lot and the game goes for an hour and a half and you think, oh, just 1 walk, but 1 error, all it takes is 1 error after that, and then the runs are on the board.
Talia George up to bat here. She's reached with a walk and she's struck out. Arrow Munro, she's got a few different pitches, doesn't she?
Certainly does. And I'm just thinking that Talia George is due for a hit now, so I think I'll put her down for a hit here somewhere, out to over the shortstop's head.
And the Lee held camp of predictions.
Good heady play there, though, by Katie Sutherland Finch to steal that base, knowing that you put some pressure on a young rotation to throw over to second, and they just couldn't quite play that. They probably could have got away with going for another base, but she slid in there. So runner in scoring position for Talia George, and 4 runs still very, very achievable for a team, especially that has 3 innings to work with. So I think those next 2 runs are actually pretty important here, just to try to get this game out of distance at all. And she's really shortening up the swing here, Talia George. And she is called strike, and another strikeout. That's strikeout number 7 for Arrow Munro.
That's impressive.
Very impressive. How does she learn? How do you learn how to sort of toy and go with the batter as Neves pops this up? Maslin moves under it, and that's a very nice inning there from the Tigers defensively. Keeps them alive, and now they have to get going on with the bat. But back to that, where do you learn that as a pitcher, and into sort of, I guess, that mental battle with each of the batters?
Look, I think pitchers are born, not made. I think that mental state, like, I don't think it's something you can, well, maybe you can improve a little bit, but I think you're born with it, and you've just got to be cool and calm and not crack under pressure, and Anaha seems to have that.
Well, Lee, if the Tigers are going to get a hit, this is where they're going to get one. They've got Jess Maslin and Ebony McLean leading off the inning right in the middle of the lineup. Jess Maslin could hit a home run right here. There's a very possibility. So this is the moment you feel like right here.
Certainly, and if she catches up with the pace on this pitch, it'll still be going tomorrow.
So you know what? I tipped at the beginning of the game that there would be a home run. This is the moment there will be a home run. If she doesn't hit one here, there's not going to be one this game. My tip's over.
I'm prepared to hold your money too.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Jess Maslin can do. Maslin's not short of confidence. She'll be the first to back herself in these scenarios. So I think she's probably just chomping at the bit right now, saying, "I want a piece of Katie Sutherland Finch."
She's going to say, and as she goes out, she'll say, "Watch this, girls. This is how you hit this girl."
Yeah, well, I like these battles. So it's a heavyweight matchup right now. One of the best batters in the competition in Jess Maslin versus clearly one of the best pitchers in the competition. It's a heavyweight battle. It's on. They're dropping the gloves. Here's the matchup right here.
It certainly is, but I've got to get them paid.
Well, it's a bold claim, Lee. Haven't seen one of those today. So 19 strikeouts on the day, and we're just towards the tail end of the 5th inning here, and it's 12 strikeouts, 12 batters for Katie Sutherland Finch, and she just gives her something that drops.
Message to the dog club, get that roof insured.
Here we go. 0-1 count. I like these battles though, and Ebony McLean as well. I'm sure she's going to make some adjustments when she comes up. And hey, we got contact, but it's a foul ball and it's a strike, so that's the second time we've had contact on the day.
Yeah, she's backing herself to put it in play and get to first. And
Almost that
possibly,
bunt there. She looks like she's trying to drop.
That's what it
I'll
looked
tell
like.
you one thing with Jess, she's a super confident batter.
Yeah, and she's a good women's baseball player as well too. And is she going to square up here, do you think? Nope, she's taking her time. She'll back herself. Yeah, and she won a championship with Gawler in the original, in the inaugural season of the club formatted Women's Baseball League here, and she actually closed out the game. So let's see what Jess Maslin does here. She's saying, you're not going to strike me out. Here we go. Here's the pitch. Strikeout. She got her, and all Jess can do is look back and I guess tip your cap to her. Strikeout looking. That's number 13.
Had a nice drop on it, that one. Looking
Unlucky
at the replay.
for some.
So Ebony McLean, this is the one right here.
This is it. Okay.
She's getting a hit. Ebony McLean, I'm backing her. She's
I'll
a good
take
she's a
anything
good
up
player.
to $250 off you.
Oh. I mean,
I'm feeling that Katie is so in the groove now. She's not going to want to let any of these.
no,
any of
as you
these-
say that, one just goes wild, and she just sort of can smile and laugh that off. So it's a 1-0 count. But the pressure mounts as you
Oh,
get
it
deeper
does.
in the game,
It
too.
does.
Look, no matter what happens from here, 13 up, 13 down, 13 strikeouts is okay.
Average.
You'd take that.
I'll take it any day.
Yeah,
Plenty
well.
of time left in the game as well, so we'll see how this keeps going.
And these Tigers, it's not like they can't hit. They put up 8 runs in their first game, and they put up 3 versus a very, very strong Walkerville side. But today, Katie Finch has made them about as useless as the letter G in lasagna. Like, it has just been a pleasure to watch, and it's all on Katie. So what a great performance here. Let's see if she can get a hit, though. Ebony McLean, I've backed her to get one here. And she makes contact. Look, they're starting to figure out a little bit, but it's a 1-2 count.
Yeah, by little, you mean small.
Yeah, I said a little bit. I mean, they're making contact now. Lee, you got to give me some credit here. I'm just trying to find the positives.
As long as we're seeing a little bit of improvement as we go along.
Positive it's 11, a little, I can tell you.
13 strikeouts, looking for number 14. And there it is.
Yeah, she's just such a clever pitcher. She's just throwing stuff around all over the place. You can't even go into that batting box at the moment thinking that you know what she's going to give you.
This is silly. This is absolutely silly. But it is what it is, and Peyton Daniels will come up. And I think there's probably going to be only one more opportunity for Seacombe after this. They'll get another inning in, and after that, that could be it for the game.
Come back.
I'm getting nervous now,
No,
though.
I am too. I really, obviously I want a really good game, and I want everyone to do well, but this is an exciting
You just don't see this.
Scenario that's coming into play here.
Swing and a miss. Well, she started the game with the perfect inning, 9 pitches and 9 strikeouts, and I think that was probably the early sign that things were going well for Katie Sutherland Finch. She's now 11 batters later, and they've all struck out. 14 up, 14 down, and it's a 1-1 count here against Peyton, and she makes some contact.
Good
Lee, look at that.
youngster.
1 contact in the previous 4 innings, and we've got 3 times they've made contact in this one.
I think Coach Sims needs to go out and speak to the pitcher.
Yeah, it's time for a
Don't you
mound
think?
visit. I think she's
it's
struggling.
Anybody warming up? No.
Lee, at one point, she was behind 1 out. So it's a 1-2 count. Can she go 5 innings with 15 strikeouts? Of course she can. Katie Sutherland Finch is rolling right now in a performance we just haven't seen. This is unbelievable.
Couple of 6.
43 out.
Yeah, absolutely. How
86
exciting.
in, please,
And as you said, Eric, their very first inning, who would have thought it was going to get any better than that?
And two,
Nine,
three, three,
9 strikes, 3 up, 3 down, and now look at where we're at. I mean, what's next? It's just getting better and better. But again, taking nothing away from young Adaha Munro as well. She's doing an amazing job with Seacombe and keeping this score down to just 4-0.
You know what, though? Sometimes in sport, and it happens in every league and every competition across the game, sometimes a player just takes over a game and absolutely dominates, and there's absolutely nothing another team can do about it no matter what you throw at them. And to the credit of the Tigers, they're still in this ball game, because as soon as they get that hit, maybe it starts to spiral a little bit. I don't think any of the runs are earned. They've come from, I mean, the tragedy for the Tigers here is it could be a 0-0 game and they've scored their runs off errors, but they have played excellent defensively, as Jess Maslin now into catch. Aroa Munro, they have a stud in here. Like, going forward, you know that you're going to be in absolutely every ball game, because Aroa Munro is for real. This is the third game in a row she's done this as Stansfield comes up to bat. She is an absolute superstar in the making. And you know what? She's going to give teams a run for their money, but she has to keep them at bay through a 6th inning right here for the Tigers to still have an opportunity.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting for having Jess behind the plate, and a lot more experience as well, and seeing how she calls that and helps her out through this inning as well.
So Ella Forrester, or sorry, not Ella Forrester, Stansfield comes up to bat. She was subbed out for Forrester. I hope she's not hurt, or was that just a straight sub? I'm hoping there's nothing wrong with Ella. No,
I don't think so. I think it's just to give Bindi a touch. Now, this girl's played many years for Sturt Softball Club, has been a legend there, and now she's gone to Port and still continuing.
And some off-speed stuff from Munro. There's some quality pitching in this competition. Glen Elg obviously has an import pitcher, and she's going to be a superstar. And oh, this is hit pretty hard. Is this going to find just that awkward gap? And it does. Hit them where they ain't. And that was that awkward spot, but she just sort of jumped the gun, Bindi did, by rounding second. I'm not sure why she did that. She's going to get a single, but she's going to be called out over at 4th.
It's obstruction.
Oh, obstruction was called. Wow. That is a lucky break, because that was a big jump of the gun.
Yeah, and the experience of Bindi Stansfield, she grabbed hold of the first base player to bring it to the attention of umpire Tannenbring to say, she's in my way and my base path and she's doing nothing. And so he had his own.
Wow. And that's a heads-up play, because she would have been dead otherwise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why she ran.
That's why she ran. And Seacombe have had a substitution here, so on first base now is another one of these youngsters out of the under-15s program last year, Jade Graham. And yeah, no doubt this is just something that Jade will take back and reflect on and learn from for next time.
These Tigers are going to be fun to watch, but they're going to be learning as they go. Just these small little errors that you just can't quite afford to make, but there's a lot to like.
Yeah, there is, and Jade and Sasha, so those who are on 1st and 2nd at the moment, both came from Glenelg from last year, transferred over to Seacombe this year, and it's great to see Coach Radigan giving them opportunities to show their skills in the A grade.
So you like Munro, you like the young players, you like that there's some playmakers on the team. We saw Ebony McLean zip one across. From the Tigers' perspective, the Uzo up to bat. She's already got 2 RBIs, and she can kiss this game goodnight with a base hit here, you'd think.
Absolutely, and a good call by Jess Maslin here to just bring the team in a little bit, take a bit of a breather. You know, they just don't want these runs to blow out, particularly because they're going to have another opportunity to bat.
The good thing is she's a strikeout pitcher.
Yeah, and I think that Maslin's got the right idea. Just slow this game down now. So if they get out of this, the score will revert to the previous innings. So what they just need to let them bat and keep going, and the time will just run out.
And this is hit hard in the air over towards center field, and that is caught by Courtney Munro. Throw to home, and that's going to advance 1 run in, and it is a 5-0 game. So they've done it small to their credit, as Bindi Stansfield steps in with the run, and that is now 3 of the 5 runs have been scored off just small little plays. 2 sacrifice flies, 1 off of an error, and then 1 was off of a single. So they've, you know, that's a good sign that they're manufacturing some runs.
That's all it takes, isn't it? It's just working away, 1 batter at a time, 1 hit at a time. So never looking too far ahead, because this is what wins games.
Runners on the corners for Rita Meyer, and this one dips in there. So
the infield's still in. They're obviously going to be looking to decrease the runs going over that plate, so they'll be looking to throw it home.
And this is hit hard. This should be playable over in that danger gap area once again. That's going to score a run. Runner on first, runner on second. So Meyer drives home another run. That, again, that's 2 times that ball has literally fallen in that awkward spot in between right fielder and second base. It's an awkward place.
It is, and as I said just before, those infielders were in for something short, something quick, and to be able to get that ball home quickly. And unfortunately, it basically landed where second base normally would have stood, but maybe, you know, with a little bit of a run back as well. So, yeah, just a bit unfortunate then.
So 6-0 ball game, 1 out here. Runners on first, runners on second. Up to bat is Tash Strapp. She's got on twice today, and she struck out once. They're a new recruit from Sturt Baseball Club. Drops in there, and that's a ball, sorry. It's a 1-1 count. So Seacombe will have one last chance to bat, Lee, and they're going to need 7 runs.
Yes.
Or more.
Or not. I thought they might have gone double steal here, Port, just to see Jess Madison's arm out.
Again, Jess would back herself there. Good contact, though, from Tash.
That's what you need from your catchers, you know, certainly back belief, because they're put under pressure to make decisions at really short, with short timelines. So, yeah, you definitely have to have a lot of confidence.
Jenny Dunn will make a huge difference to this team when she's back. Drops down low, it's a ball, 2-2 count.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, her skills are amazing, but also just her experience, especially with such a young team. Tash played in the under-23s this year as well up in Brisbane.
You forget how young she is for how experienced she is. She's won a couple premierships too with Sturt.
Yeah, and only just a year, I think a year or two out of an under-19, so she'd only be about 20 years old.
It's pretty impressive, and she's pitched some pretty massive games as well for Sturt. It's that changeup that's so dangerous when she's on the mound.
Yeah, when she came in with Stars last year, I know that Coach KJ threw her in sort of in the middle of games, just when we had some really fast pitchers on, just to really shake things up. And she did a great job at holding people without getting too many runs, holding teams without getting too many runs at that stage. So yeah, definitely very an interesting pitcher, lots of off-speed stuff, very, very clever.
And this is hit up, again, an awkward spot. And this is a nice catch from Steph Hull, moving back to grab that one. So it's 2 outs here. Katie Sutherland Finch has runners on first and second. Let's see if she can put an exclamation point on a day that I think she might remember for the rest of her career.
That was a great catch by Steph, running back for that. It's always a little bit difficult, and you don't know where those outfielders are running in. So good job getting that one.
So Katie Sutherland Finch, they're 1 out away from, it's going to be all eyes on Katie after this about whether she can, you know, have that truly memorable game. She's got 15 up, 15 down. She's 3 outs away from something truly special. But right now, it's a 6-0 game. Katie Sutherland Finch has been on once. Can she get a base hit to top off a spectacular day? And she hits this hard. This is going back. This is going deep. And this is over the fence. Katie Sutherland Finch is having a day to remember. She's just taken Munro long, and it's 9-0. Can you believe it? What a game!
That was so good. It'll be good to see the replay.
Oh my goodness. So she's got 15 faced with 15 strikeouts and a 3-run bomb to boot. This is insane.
Looks like Becky Havis, a left fielder out there, thought it might have been a foul ball. But they've got two referees having a look at that out there.
So they're having a talk. Just give it to her. They're taking a look. I guess we could have video replay if they wanted to. I don't know if we can get that replay back up again or not, or we maybe missed it, but they're just going to continue on. So it's a home run. Katie Sutherland Finch in one of the most spectacular performances you will ever see in this competition. Just enjoy it, folks, because the best is yet to come with maybe the 3 most pressure-filled batters she'll face. Like, this is a game you'll always remember.
And For those people that had their doubts about whether this Port pitcher was any good or how good she was, pay attention today.
And here's a pitch. This one is going to go into foul territory, just out of reach. So if we're at the 85 minute, they'll still send the Tigers out there to finish the game, right?
They
and that'll be it.
Yeah, finish up the inning.
And then that's it.
And that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, another replay on that home run there. That was a big hit. That's the first one over the fence this year. Is that right?
Well, that's the first one that I've seen, but yeah, that is great. I knew there would be a home run today, guys.
You did say that.
And here's the hit. She shortens her
hit.
swing. That is some heads up hitting right there from Talia George. She's aboard. And by George, the montage of hits keeps coming here. I can't believe it.
As I said, Eric, earlier on, that's where Talia George hits it hard over the top of shortstop's head.
Yeah, that was a really nice piece. Nice solid piece off the bat.
Well, Jess Neves can break the scorecard here by extending this to a 10th batter. She's batter number 9 in the inning. She has not got on base yet. She's flown out to the pitcher and the center fielder, and she's struck out. So Jess Neves up here. She's behind 1-0. She swings at this one. But what an adjustment on that last one by Talia George. You saw her shorten that swing, and it was perfect, wasn't it, Lee?
Certainly was. As I said, that's where she likes it. She hits with power too, Eric.
Yeah, perfectly placed, right over shortstop. Just dropped in front of that left fielder.
Well, I'm sure, if you're Katie Sutherland Finch, are you a bit nervous right now?
Oh, well,
I'm more nervous if I'm one of the defenders, knowing that if a ball is hit to me, I don't want to screw that up.
She's played in some big games in her lifetime, in her career. I know that Cal went to the
World Series
a couple of times, or certainly Super Regionals. So look, she's been in some big situations. So I would be thinking she's pretty cool and comfortable. Maybe it's just us here in the panel that are the nervous ones. Maybe her family at home are nervous for her. Or again, you know, they've probably seen her play in some big games before.
I'm also excited. So we have a home run from Jess Sutherland Finch, or Katie Sutherland Finch. And yeah, this is unbelievable to watch.
Well, hopefully this is going to make her really excited to be down here in Australia. I'm sure she was happy to be here anyway, but gee, after a performance like this.
And here's a slap over towards right field.
Yeah, you'd be really, really excited that you made the trip down under. Two and two. So let's not forget Ed has had a great great pitching duel already today, but she's just got to hang in there.
And this is hit over towards third. Nice play from McLean. Throw across the diamond, and she got it.
Yeah,
so,
great play.
Here it is. We've got 3 outs to go for Port Adelaide pitcher Katie Sutherland Finch. She's only got 3 more batters to face, and she's got 15 strikeouts.
And what's our bet here, guys?
I can't even make a bet because this is just ridiculous. But I mean, you've heard of you know, I don't even know. Are we allowed? I don't want to say it because I don't want to be blamed for it. But she's 15 up, 15 down with 15 strikeouts. This is as good as a pitching performance you could ever ask for. You actually literally...
Can you not get anything? You couldn't get anything better than this.
There literally could not be anything better unless it was only strikes and not 1 ball.
Yeah, true.
Batters have only made contact 4 times. 4 times.
So you've got no call? You're saying that she's going to...
I can't make a call. I can't do it.
Lee?
I'll go for 3 strikeouts.
Lee's saying 3.
I'll go out. And
you know what? I am going to make a call. Arrowa Munro is going to break it up with the last batter in the equation.
They've got nothing to lose.
That's 3 calls you've had. Are you continuing?
Yep. Arrowa Munro is going to break it up.
Okay.
Well, we've got 3 very young players coming up against Katie here. So, look, I'm going to back the pitcher.
Well, could be an inning that Katie Sutherland Finch will remember for the rest of her life. This has been spectacular to watch. She's got a couple of Munros to get through. What do Seacombe do? I just hope they don't put a bunt down or something like that. I just want to see. I want to see it. But here we go. 15 up, 15 down, 15 strikeouts. Courtney Munro will sit back and enjoy this. And it starts with a ball. So the pressure is certainly on for Katie Sutherland Finch. What do you tell her? Do you tell her anything? I don't think there is anything you can say, is there?
I think two words.
Continue.
Good luck.
Good luck. Continue. One word.
Who?
There's another strike.
Telling Katie or telling Courtney?
To Katie, to the
Katie,
Tigers.
yeah.
I don't know what you say to them. You're just like, yeah, just, I don't know, just hope for the best. Maybe
Yeah,
she's
no.
wild and she hits you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Katie's probably, well, like I said, I think she's got it under control here.
Another strike. So there it is. She's up to another strike, one strike away from a 16th strikeout. This is wild. I hope Monica Perry's watching this.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit greedy to me, this game.
Here's the pitch, and there it is.
There it
16 batters, 16 strikeouts, and she's 2 away.
Yep, she's loving this. I could see that.
Becky Havis is the next woman that's going to try to break this up. There's only 2 more opportunities for this unbelievable day to be ruined.
Will Havis save us?
Will Havis save us? Sutherland Finch, first pitch, in there for a strike, 0-1. Just sit back, relax. There's not much else you can do. Guys, I'm going to make a big call right now. I'm going to go talk to her as the player of the game at the end of the game, if you guys are all right with that.
I don't know. I'll have a bit of a think
And a
about
swing
it.
and a miss.
Leave it with us.
Leave it with us.
Yeah, you guys decide.
Yeah.
Well, look, if they come back here and they can put up 10 runs, it's going to change the equation a little bit. Here we go, 0-2 count. Swing and a miss.
There you go, one to
She
go.
is 1 away. 17 up, 17 down, and she's got 1 batter to go.
Oh,
And it's not just 17 down, it's 17 strikeouts.
strikeouts.
17 batters, 17 strikeouts, and her pitching counterpart, Erwa Munro, is up to bat. Katie Sutherland Finch will quiet down and watch her here. Called ball.
That was Motrin, though.
I'm calling this. I said this is where the breakup is going to be right here.
I hope you're not right, because you'll be unbearable.
I know. I don't want to be right. Here's the pitch. And this is, she makes contact.
How
She
about
saw that
that?
one.
I could join you here.
Wow.
with this prediction.
She wanted that. That was
She
great.
saw
It's
that.
good to see that.
So
I've
5
had enough
times
of
they've
this.
made contact. Here we go. Munro versus Sutherland Finch, the only woman in Erwa Munro that stands in the way from something that you probably have never seen before. Swing and a miss. So here it is, right here. Is this the pitch to cap off a day you have to see to believe?
Yeah, I'm really thrilled that I have been able to call this game and be a part of this.
17 batters faced, 17 strikeouts. This is the
Yes,
final one, and there
that's
it is.
awesome.
She's not just perfect, she's truly perfect. Katie Sutherland Finch, 18 strikeouts from 18 batters faced, no hits, no walks, 5 times contact. You cannot write this stuff. I do not believe it.
This is something to go in the history books, isn't it? How exciting is that? Well, her parents should be so proud.
Lee and Kathy, I'll let you recap this one. I'm going to go grab her right now. That is unbelievable.
Lee, you've seen a lot of softball in your time. Has there been anything like that?
No, there hasn't. I can go back to Monica Perry, who was just a delight to watch, just a complete player as a pitcher. But no, I haven't seen anything like this, and I'm very pleased that I was here to see it. So she set a pretty high standard.
Lee, we're just going to take a quick break and we'll go on standby. We'll be right back.
Well, after much debate among the commentators, we decided to give the statewide super player of the game to Katie Sutherland Finch. You had an okay game today, 18 batters faced, 18 strikeouts, a perfect game, no hitter, wrap it all up there. Oh, you also hit a home run, the first of the season as well, too. Katie, what the hell happened there?
I just felt good today. I really felt good. I don't know, our team came out, we scored 2 in the first inning, which makes it a lot easier as a pitcher, and then I just tried to stay focused every batter and make my balls move. So
I was nervous when I was watching that last inning. Were you nervous?
I was a little nervous the last hitter. I knew running into it that I hadn't had anyone on, but it's one of those things you don't talk about it, you don't think about it, because as soon as you do, that's when you give up the blue pit, or you walk someone, or you hit a girl. So it was just better not to think about it. But I don't know. Today was a good day. Felt good.
Was it fun?
It was. Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm really happy to be here, and my team's playing well, and they're hitting well. So it's been a good day.
So we were counting, by the way, only 5 times the whole game anyone made contact with you, and one was just a little, foul just behind the home plate. So when you're on like that, take us through what you're feeling, what's going through your head. Like it was crazy to watch.
When you're feeling good, your pitches are moving. So today the heat helped a little bit, especially I'm from Oregon, so we don't get a lot of heat. So it helped a little bit getting my arm loose. You just know your balls are moving up, or they're moving to the side or wherever, and staying relaxed is key. As soon as you muscle up, the ball stops doing what you want it to do. But in my head, I'm looking at every batter, I'm looking where they are at the plate, thinking about what they did the last at bat, and really just trying to work my way through their hitting mechanics and hopefully throwing to their weaknesses.
And have you had a game like that before? You add in the home run, and it's truly special.
Not in a very long time. Maybe high school, but not in a very long time.
And just tell us a little bit about how Port have welcomed you so far. You've only been here for a week and a day now, so what's been going on?
I have spent, practice. The team's great. The girls have been awesome. I flew in, and the next day I was playing. It's been so much fun, and they've been so welcoming and making sure that everything's good. I'm good and comfortable, and I'm excited. Our other import, Vicky, will be here soon, so I'm excited to meet her. I haven't met her yet, but I've heard great things.
So 18 batters faced, 18 strikeouts, an amazing performance from you. You're the statewide super player of the game. Do you want to give any shout-outs to anyone back home?
Yes, my family and my dog, Odie.
All right, Katie, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on Wednesday night with more exciting softball action.